Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I am so excited for today because if you did not see my video in June, July, I did a half-year letterboxd review. Basically what I did was talk about the films that I've seen that have come out this year. That was the half year, and now we are at the end of the year, which means we are going to do the rest of the movies that I have seen this year. I have seen a total of 23 films that have come out this year, which is kind of funny. 23 films. The second half of the year was the year. Like, what? The second half really had some great films come out. I mean, we're gonna get into them. But there were also some that I watched that I was kind of like, don't really like that. We're gonna go from least favorite to favorite. So get the shitty ones out of the way. So first up, we have Knock at the Cabin. While vacationing at a remote cabin, a young girl and her parents are taken hostage by four armed strangers who demand that the family make an unthinkable choice to avert the apocalypse. With limited access to the outside world, the family must decide what they believe before all is lost. This is a horror, thriller-ish film where I am not a huge fan of horror stuff. Not that this is horror, but it's more of I don't know, if you've seen it, you know what I mean. I do not do well with apocalyptic things or anything end of the world. It gives me too much anxiety. I cannot and I will not deal with it. I physically can't. Watching that film, I would felt like I was in a 2-hour-long anxiety attack. Do I appreciate and see the vision? Yes. Is it for me? No. Overall, I think it was an okay movie. It's just not for me. Yeah, it was okay. I rated it 1 star. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. To anyone that likes this film, I see why you like it, but for me, it's just no. Acting wasn't bad. The story wasn't bad. Nothing was ugh, this is a fucking shit movie. It's just not my cup of tea. Next up, we have The Outlaws. A straight-laced bank manager is about to marry the love of his life. When his bank is held up by infamous ghost bandits during his wedding week, he believes his future in-laws who just arrived in town are the infamous outlaws. It was a Netflix movie. This shit was bad as well. Acting was bad. I'm so sorry to the people that are in this. This is a Netflix film with Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan himself could not even save this film. It was just very boring. I was bored the entire time. It was not fun. It has Adam Devine, Nina Dobrev, Pierce Brosnan, like I said. These are well-known people sitting there bored as shit. Sorry, but Netflix, do better. So Nina's parents are criminals. I forgot her character name, but whatever. And it was just kind of meh. It was just really meh. It was really boring. I was bored. That is all I can even say about it. Moving on to Sound of Freedom. The story of Tim Ballard, a former US government agent who quits his job in order to devote his life to rescuing children from global sex traffickers. This film was very informative, I will say that. I don't know, I remember when it first came out, people were there was cinemas and theaters that were banning it and not showing it because of the meaning. I don't really know. I don't remember. It was a decent movie. I just think it was very overwhelming. It was very tough to kind of sit there for I think it was over 2 hours. I think it was almost 3 hours or something. And sit there and watch it all. It's just a lot to handle. I do think it was good though. I think it was a strong film. I think that it gets, a message across that so much goes on that you don't even know about when it comes to this sort of stuff. Yeah, I don't know, it was just a lot. There were some scenes as well that really had my stomach turning. I felt physically ill when I left the cinema. I was ugh. There was also a lot of Christian thing. It sort of felt God will save you, these are God's children. I'm not Christian or religious at all, but it just sort of felt like Christian propaganda. I rated it 2 stars because it was just sort of again, overwhelming to kind of take that all in. Then we have No One Will Save You. exiled, anxiety-ridden homebody must battle an alien who's found its way into her home. This has Caitlin Dever, and I love her. She slayed. This movie, I don't know why it affected me so much. Again, with the whole like the unknown, like, you know, an apocalypse or like the world ending or like aliens. Like, I don't know. My brain works in mysterious ways because I literally was watching this film and thinking like, okay, I'm not scared. But then after watching it, I literally had nightmares about it. Like, I had like literal nightmares. I was waking up and I was like, holy fuck. And I like literally looked out my window because I was terrified. I was like, oh my god, there's aliens right here. Why? Like, it wasn't even like that scary. Like, the aliens are goofy looking as hell. Like, this film was pretty good. Like, the acting was really good. The story was also pretty good. Caitlin Dever, she acted. She ate, devoured. I originally rated it, I think 3 stars. I dropped it down to 2 just because over time I'm like, I would not watch it again. And again, it scared me, and I don't know why. Like, I feel embarrassed to say that it scared me like that, but what can I say? Yeah, so it was fine. Basically, like, the whole plot was, the entire film was sort of like, something's wrong with this girl, but you don't know what, and then you were getting like flashbacks and like memories of her like with a friend, and it was like, oh well, what happened? So it was like this like mystery as to like what was the issue or what was the problem with this girl. Then like aliens came in and they took over the town, and then they were trying to get her, and they literally like let her go because they were like, this girl's a little bit too fucked up for us. In the end, spoiler alert, they ended up letting her live amongst the world of the aliens in other people, if that makes sense. So she was able to live a life with aliens. Next up, we have Five Nights at Freddy's. Recently fired and desperate for work, a troubled young man named Mike agrees to take a position as a night security guard at an abandoned theme restaurant, Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. But he soon discovers that nothing at Freddy's is what it seems. I am so sorry, Josh Hutcherson, but this film flopped. I'm sorry, it really did. It was not what I expected. It was very underwhelming. It was kind of disappointing because I thought, oh my god, Josh Hutcherson. And Five Nights at Freddy's, like, it was this hyped up, insane thing, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be good, and it wasn't. I was bored. I don't know, and it seemed like a lot of people agreed. A lot of the ratings that I saw on letterboxd was like 2 stars. He did the best with whatever this was. Like, it was fine. Like, again, it was just kind of boring. I don't remember the characters' names and everything, but like, person Matthew Lillard plays, he ended up being the bad guy, but it was fucking so plain obvious when you first saw him on the screen. I was like, I know you're the bad guy. I do think Josh Hutcherson and Piper Rubio, I think her name is, they played siblings in the film, and I think they had some good chemistry. The little girl slayed. I thought it was going to be like this horror film, which is surprising as me. I'm like, I don't like horror films. Yeah, I was like, let me watch it. Anyway, I was expecting it to be very like horror, very gore, very like sort of like the game, because in the game it was like, oh my god, this is so scary, like when I was playing it when I was 10. In the film, there was more of the backstory of Mike's brother going missing and stuff, which is like fine, but like I feel like it definitely steered away from the original plot of the movie. Anyway, moving on. Next up, we have Joyride. 4 Asian American friends travel through Asia in search of one of their birth mothers. Along the way, their experience becomes one of bonding, friendship, belonging, and no-holds-barred debauchery. This was fun. It's got Ashley Park, Sherry Cola, Stephanie Sue. They slayed. The dynamic, the chemistry that these women had was just phenomenal. I was in stitches. I was laughing so hard. Like, it was just so funny. I was not expecting it to be funny. Like, when I saw the trailer, it was like, oh my god, like, this is probably gonna be some cringy cliche, like, but it was funny. Like, it was funny. Like, I was pissing myself. It was crazy. It was pretty damn good though. Oh my god, like, this film was just funny. It went above like my expectations. I was not expecting it to be that funny and that good, but it was. We need more funny movies because a lot of the movies nowadays are just falling flat. They're not giving comedy. Next up, we have The Family Plan. Dan Morgan is many things: a devoted husband, a loving father, a celebrated car salesman. He's also a former assassin, and when his past catches up to his present, he's forced to take his unsuspecting family on a road trip unlike any other. This has Mark Wahlberg, and while I do not support him, this movie was fun. This was a fun film. I did not expect to like it as much as I did. It was so fun. The thing that I liked about this film, I got into it really quickly. I think within the first 15 minutes, we were already getting into the whole action. Like, he's an assassin. Like, wow, how does he know all these moves? And I'm like, that's what I want to see. I don't ever want to watch a film and have to sit in it for like 30 minutes and be like, okay, what's the plot of this? Where are we going? But this was really good. It also has Michelle Monaghan. Don't know who she is, but she slayed. Maggie Q, who I know from Divergent. I forgot her name though. And some other people, but whatever. Again, it was just funny. Like, there were some really good moments. I don't really know what else to say. I'm like going through these too quickly. It was a good, solid film, especially for Apple TV Plus. Like, they don't have the best track record. They have Ghosted with Ana de Armas and Chris Evans. It was also a little bit longer than I hoped. I think it was almost 2 hours, and I was like, oh, sort of getting to that bridge where it's like, okay, we're kind of pushing it. Let it end, please. Next up, we have Mafia Mama. A suburban American woman inherits her grandfather's mafia empire and, guided by the firm's trusted consigliere, don't know, defies everyone's expectations, including her own, as the new head of the family business. Again, another film I did not expect to love as much as I did. It was good, and like, there were some moments where I was like, oh my god, okay, this is kind of like cringing me out, but overall, it was good. It was funny. This also has Toni Collette in it and Monica Bellucci. I did love the like sort of like plot twist in the end. Basically, Toni Collette's character, her husband cheats on her. Fuck you. And she ends up going to Italy because her grandfather just died, and then she inherits all the mafia stuff. When she arrives in Italy, she meets this guy at the airport who, plot twist, turns out to be a police officer that is then investigating her and her family and trying to take down the mafia. Yeah, did not expect that, but it was okay. It was her really just trying to like handle the business, I guess. It was pretty good. Again, not what I was expecting. I've noticed that a lot with some of these films is they were a lot better than I expected. Next up, we have Missing. When her mother disappears while on vacation in Colombia with her new boyfriend, June's search for answers is hindered by international red tape. Stuck thousands of miles away in Los Angeles, June creatively uses all the latest technology at her fingertips to try and find her before it's too late. But as she digs deeper, her digital sleuthing raises more questions than answers, and when June unravels secrets about her mom, she discovers that she never really knew her at all. This film, wow. For something that was sort of all like digital in a way, because you're not like seeing like me right now, you're not seeing like physical, like I don't know how to word it, but like it's all basically through a screen. I loved every second of it. The plot twist, bitch, I did not even expect it. Like, it took a turn where it was like, oh my god, like her mom's missing. I don't know why, but in the film I was like, okay, well that's the most extreme it's gonna get. Then there was murder, and I'm like, Storm Reid, she slayed. It was just really interesting. I was on the edge of my seat, or on the edge of my bed, literally like eyes glued to the TV. The ending was crazy. Plot twist, spoiler ahead if you haven't seen it. Basically, in the beginning of the film, it's sort of implied that June, who's played by Storm Reid, her father had like passed away or something. But plot twist, that didn't happen. Basically, her mom that goes missing was in an abusive relationship, and she got out of it and fled the state. And she moved, changed her name, took June with her. The father ended up going to jail for I don't know how long, but then he ended up getting out, and then he met her mom's new boyfriend, and then they connected, and then he sort of like got his way back in and finding Grace, which is June's mom. Sorry. It was really good. The plot twist in the end was it was all the dad. He wanted payback and revenge. They survived, thankfully. Funny enough, they used Siri in a way of like modern movies and like technology and stuff. I think it was really well integrated, because you know, like you see like movies and stuff nowadays where it's like, oh my god, I'm posting on TikTok, and it's just, it completely misses the mark. I also learned a lot of things that I did not know before. So that is good to know if I ever need to do some technological sleuthing. Next up, we have No Hard Feelings. On the brink of losing her childhood home, Maddie discovers an intriguing job listing. Wealthy helicopter parents looking for someone to date their introverted 19-year-old son Percy before he leaves for college. To her surprise, Maddie soon discovers the awkward Percy is no sure thing. This film was fantastic. No Hard Feelings with Jennifer Lawrence. Wow. Like, had me again in stitches. I was laughing so hard I could not breathe. I think she absolutely devoured this role. A lot of the time you see her in like very like serious roles and, you know, action, but no, this was just a good comedy film and I loved every second of it. I need more. I need a second one. I need more roles for Jennifer Lawrence to be in like that. It hit every nail on the board. It hit every mark. I was laughing every second. Everything was just perfect about it. It's got an average rating of 3 stars on letterboxd. Y'all do not know how to have fun. Y'all are boring. I guess like friendship, because it's not a love story. They don't end up dating or anything. Great film. I would recommend this to anyone. It was phenomenal. And if you don't think otherwise, then you don't know how to have fun. Next up, we have Saltburn. Struggling to find his place at Oxford University, student Oliver Quick finds himself drawn into the world of the charming and aristocratic Felix Catton, who invites him to Saltburn, his eccentric family's sprawling estate, for a summer never to be forgotten. This film has Barry Keoghan, I think, and Jacob Elordi. This film I've just watched within the last week. This was, again, another thing. A film I was not expecting to be what it was. I was expecting it to be some sort of like, not like queer love story, but I just thought that there was going to be some sort of like, this film, fuck me, was it great. I also have always loved Jacob Elordi, and now my obsession has grown a million times stronger. So Jacob Elordi, that is my husband. Stay away. Emerald Fennell, you are a genius. The soundtrack, the acting, the chemistry, everything was top tier. The writing and everything was perfect. Jacob Elordi and Barry's chemistry and everything, their dynamic was just unmatched. Like, it really was something special. The film ended in a way I did not expect. Rest in peace, Jacob's character. Spoiler alert, the ending was very, very interesting. Basically, Barry's character, Oliver Quick, plans this whole thing to get them all dead and kill them all. He poisoned Felix, and then he made Felix's sister drive to suicide. And we also had him kill the mother, and like he took over the Saltburn estate, took over the Catton family empire pretty much, because he was obsessed with Felix and Felix didn't love him back. And I too would do the same thing. It was really good, and the music, bitch, like, just great. I don't know what else to say other than it was a great film. The character Farley, I'm so sorry if you're a Farley stan, but that bitch fucking annoyed me. I hated him. He was so annoying. But anyway, Saltburn, thank you for your service to the society and to the world. Truly something to watch. There was some moments where I had so much secondhand embarrassment I wanted to scrouch out my eyes. Basically, like I said, Oliver, who's played by Barry, has manipulated this whole entire narrative that his mother and father are like really bad people. His mother's a drug addict and she's never been able to recover, and his father like died. He made up all these lies and everything to get close to Felix. Basically, Felix was like, I want to do something nice, and took Oliver to surprise him and go to his family and be like, surprise. Little did Felix know, Felix was under the impression that Oliver's dad just passed away. But no, that was not the case. All of his parents were completely fine, completely healthy. The mother wasn't a drug addict. The father was alive and well. Oh, the secondhand embarrassment was just something else. Being caught in a lie like that, I would kill myself. There was some scenes in this film that was something else. If you've seen anything, or if you've been on Instagram or TikTok or anything in the last 2 weeks, you would have noticed the surge of posts about the bathtub scene. Y'all are overreacting if you thought that was crazy, because it really wasn't. I've seen worse. Like, that was the least traumatizing or disturbing scene in that. I think one of the most disturbing scenes was the I'm a vampire. That scene gave me trauma. And then the grave scene. Like, did we watch the same movie? Because what do you mean the bathtub scene was the worst? Did we watch the same film? Because that was probably the best one out of all of them. Insane in the Membrane. I loved it though. I think it was so perfectly done. Top tier, if I do say so myself. I just love Jacob Elordi so much. Next up we have Bottoms. PJ and Josie start a fight club as a way to lose their virginities to cheerleaders. The fight club gains traction and soon the most popular girls in school are beating each other up in the name of self-defense. But the pair find themselves in over their heads and in need of a way out before their plan is exposed. This film was perfect. 5 stars, 10s across the board. Rewatched it so many times, I've lost count. Rachel Sennett, Io, I always forget how to pronounce her name, but she slayed. Ruby Cruz, Havana Rose Liu, like Kaya Gerber, Nicholas Galitzine. That is my husband. Okay, anyway, we'll get to him later. Every second of it was something that just had me in love and obsessed. Emma Seligman, thank you for your service. It was perfect. Like, I don't know how else to say it other than it was perfect. It genuinely was one of the best films I've seen this year. It was number 4 in this half year. Overall, I don't know what it is, but anyway. This is my Avengers. This is my Avengers. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. The end scene where they're all fighting the football players, that was straight out of Avengers movie. That was straight out of one. So happy for Josie getting her love story in the end with the one that she wanted. Sucks for PJ though because she did not get the girl that she wanted because the girl that she wanted was Kaya Gerber and Kaya Gerber was straight. Unfortunate for the gays. Hazel, bitch. Hazel slayed. I love how every second she goes, do you want something blown up? Do you want a bomb? Girl, yes. This was camp. This was cunt. This was amazing. 5 stars, 10s across the board. Like, in every way possible, perfect. You had like the very like himbo, like dumb character, Nicholas Galitzine. Hey! I'm gonna rewatch it again today. It was just that perfect. It was that good. It's one of those films that are timeless. Like, this is gonna be watched in 10 years. It'll be watched in 20 years. It'll be watched in 30 years. And I will be watching it every single year. Next up, we have Red, White, and Royal Blue. After an altercation between Alex, the president's son, and Britain's Prince Henry at a royal event becomes tabloid fodder, their long-running feud now threatens to drive a wedge in US-British relations. When the rivals are forced into a staged truce, their icy relationship begins to thaw, and the friction between them sparks something deeper than they ever expected. This film, y'all don't understand. You do not understand. I love this. I can't even talk about it. Wow. One of my favorite movies. It's literally, I think it's in my top 4 on letterboxd. This film was everything I could have ever wanted and more. Like, there were some cringy, cheesy things. Did I eat it up and love it? Yes. And there's a way that you can hit that mark, and they did it. Beautiful and perfect and eccentric this film was. I loved it so much. This is a film I will defend to the grave. If you did not like it, you didn't get it. If you found it boring, you don't know how to have fun. I did not read the book at all. I went into this completely blind and not really knowing anything about the story or anything like that. I don't really ever like to read books and then go into like a film or a TV show just because I'm very much of a visual media person over reading a book, because I know a lot of the time the book is going to have so much in it that they can't all put into a film or a TV show, and I'm more likely to rewatch TV shows and movies than reread a book. Anyway, so that's my explanation of not reading the book. My Two Husbands. I watched this August 18th, and ever since then I have grown an obsession with the 2 main characters, or not characters but the 2 main actors, Taylor Zacar Perez and Nicholas Galitzine. They are everything I want. Literally made me cry. I did do a commentary to Red, White, and Royal Blue. If you want to go watch it, you should, because it was really fun and I loved it and I cried. I cannot watch that film without crying. It's something that tugs on your heartstrings. It eats at you and you're like, oh. It's like forbidden. First of all, it's a gay story as well. Then you also have the fact that it's a president's son and a prince. Like, it really was something special. It was genuine. It was real. I watched it and in tears every single time And every single time I've watched it, I've been, when will it be my turn? And I need a sequel. I'm sorry, but I need a sequel now. Their love story was just, I think it was also a very beautifully written script. Every scene was done perfectly to perfection. And to this day, I still hate Miguel. I will stand by that till the day I die. Fuck that bitch. Moving on. We have The Little Mermaid. The youngest of King Triton's daughters and the most defiant, Ariel longs to find out more about the world beyond the sea, and while visiting the surface, falls for the dashing Prince Eric. With mermaids forbidden to interact with humans, Ariel makes a deal with an evil sea witch, Ursula, which gives her a chance to experience life on land, but ultimately places her life and her father's crown in jeopardy. Another 5-star film. There was a lot of discourse with this film, obviously with Halle Bailey playing, Ariel because she's black. If you still are hung up about that, grow the fuck up. Like, she ate, devoured, slayed that role. She was born for that. I'm sorry, she was born for a Disney princess role, and that's what she was born to do. This was something that was so beautiful to me, and I loved it. The soundtrack, like the voice, the vocals, every single thing about this film was perfect to me in a way that some Disney films aren't. I want to watch a Disney film and be, yeah, that's 5 stars. I'm in tears. I'm crying. Like, that was perfect. And that's what this did. People saying like, oh, it was like kind of boring. Like, I don't even know what people were saying, to be honest, but I loved it. If you don't get it, you don't get it. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say to you. You have Halle Bailey. You have Jonah. Howard King, I think his name is, who played Prince Eric. Y'all, he set up another white boy of the month. There's always a white boy of the month, and he was the white boy of the month in May. Even Melissa McCarthy, who a lot of people were like, no, why is Melissa McCarthy playing Ursula? She does not look good. The makeup looks bad, whatever. Do y'all not know how to have fun? Like, that is the main thing that I've realized when it comes to people criticizing films, is they criticize every single little aspect. Do you not know how to have fun? Like, is that not embarrassing that you sit there or stand there and go, did not like that and that, and this, it was just a bad film. You were entitled to your own opinion, but do you not know how to have fun? I think it was perfect. Anyway, and finally, we have Barbie. Barbie and Ken are having the time of their lives in the colorful, seemingly perfect world of Barbie Land. However, when they get a chance to go to the real world, they soon discover the joys and perils of living among humans. Barbie world domination. There's a reason why Barbie beat Oppenheimer. I've not seen that film and I won't. Sorry. This film, thank you Greta Gerwig, thank you Margot Robbie, thank you to everyone that was in that film. This film made me sob. Literal tears streaming down my face. People that I feel like didn't like it went into it thinking it's gonna be this really campy, like fun. I mean, it was fun, but like this very like campy, like Barbie. And there was a deeper meaning behind it. It was very much of a, women living in society and just living in the world and not wanting to be perceived as an object, which a lot of the time, unfortunately, is the case. And we need to change that narrative. We need that to plummet, that idea, go to hell. Please, if you have not watched Barbie, please go watch it, because it definitely gives you will get a sort of new perspective on it. And a lot of the men that I know have seen this film and be like, ugh, I did not like it. It's because you did not get the point. That is why. I could talk about this film for hours. There's a reason it made $1 billion. There's a reason it was the most watched film. There's a reason it was the best film of 2023. Top tier. Kind of want to rewatch it. Also, the soundtrack, Dua Lipa, Charlie XCX, like these are like pop icons. And also Billie Eilish, sorry, I forgot about her. I cannot explain how perfect that film was. Barbie's supposed to be the perfect, like Barbie Land, everything's perfect. It was. Everything was perfect about this film. If you have anything to flaw about it, I don't care. The only thing I can flaw about it is like the whole like Ken storyline. Amazing. Like, it was just so good. Greta Gerwig, the legend, icon that she is. I just appreciate her and her work so much. I think she's very, very talented. I want to go back to the time when this was coming out, because that time, it was only a couple months ago, but fuck me, was it perfect. It was amazing. Like, the whole Barbie versus Oppenheimer. What a time to be alive. And the ending I thought was hilarious. A lot of people were like, what the fuck? Just, again, you don't know how to have fun. That montage. Also, Billie Eilish for making What Was I Made For? That song was so good. Not only was the cast of the film, really big actors. Like, then you also had the soundtrack that has Lizzo, Dua Lipa, Nicki Minaj, Ice Spice, Charlie XCX. Then you also have Tame Impala. Just insane. Anyway, that was it. And with that being said, I am going to show you my 2023 ranked films of the year. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will be doing this sort of stuff again next year. I love film so much. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, all that YouTube stuff. Follow me on all the social media, it's all the same, but specifically Letterboxd if you want to keep up with the films that I'm watching.